I'm on screen. Hello, everybody. Welcome to ETU. I am your host, as always, the consigliere to the Vgg Etu Is. And joining me, poolside, the TVA commissioner, the gold medal winning captain of the Olympics last year, Mr. Drew Madsen, in the pool. Oh, boy. And joining him as well, too, is his good friend.
With Zach.
With Zach. Hello, guys. How are you?
What's up? Doing all right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
It's a balmy low 70s out here. Got the in-ground pool.
Ooh.
I don't know if I'm on screen or not.
You are on screen, yes.
Oh, cool.
It'd be fine.
Yeah.
Looks good. We're here. Your thoughts on the Olympics? Your place in the Olympic draft?
Certainly different from last year. I wish that I was. I wish I had a higher pick, but we will persevere. We will beat on.
It will beat on.
Yeah. Your
Zach gets my pick from last year. Lucky. We had 9.
Who you picking, Zach? At 9.
Best player on board.
Best player on board. Fair enough. We have requests for puppies. There, Drew.
Ravi. Our
Good. Come here.
come here. Stop eating whatever you're eating.
Just fucking with plastic. Excuse me. Oh yeah, I've got pool floats in there. I should probably get
Come
those.
here. Okay.
Here.
Turn the camera.
Yeah, I'll have to turn the camera.
There we go.
Hello, puppy. Look at the puppy.
Abby up there on the porch being all
Yeah. Evie's just hanging out.
Guard dog watching over the yard. I see. And here comes.
That's right.
Here comes my daughter to come see the puppy. You want to say hi to the puppy?
Oh.
Look at the puppy.
Say hi, Hood.
Say hi. Say hi to Hood.
Luckily, I've got 2 hydrophobic dogs. I don't want them jumping in here.
You don't get anywhere near it.
I mean, she'll walk around.
Find out.
All right. While we wait for the Vgg Etu Is, on track today is. Ow! All right, this stuff is already started. Zach will be doing his competitor, and we will have Ref Dave in a little bit to get this competitor getting going. Yeah. Happy Vgg to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Boss Rate beatdown tonight.
Yes, the Boss Rate beatdown. 7:30 p.m. tonight starts. It's gonna be a fun event. And then tomorrow, we start 7:30 with the LFF Hardcore Championship and the Kolache Cup, aka the Super Show Cup.
The Kolache Cup. I always love how it's like place is like it is the Super Show Cup. Please do not. Everyone just calls it the
It's the
Clay
Clay
Cup
Cup.
anyway.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, Xerox versus copying. Or dumpster versus garbage.
I think we know.
Did you know the dumpster is actually the brand name?
No, what the
Yeah.
hell?
Yeah, it was originally the brand name.
That's great.
Wow. Rambo saying
Is
he
it?
should be at the pool right now.
You should be.
Yeah, well, why isn't he?
I was about to say, you know where I live.
Drive
I think he's still working right now.
here.
He's
now.
working.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because graduation, there's
Hey,
graduation, and then there's a few.
I got a quote I really like,
Okay.
but I can't say it on Twitch.
No, you cannot.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Very famous Michael Jordan.
Very
quote.
famous Michael Jordan meme.
Yeah, get in. You gotta go to the knee first.
Dad, go ahead and get in. Joining us is our good friend Jeremy.
Hello, Jeremy. Let's see if Twitch is taking me down yet. Let's see.
Mind the cursing, if you don't mind.
Let's see. Let's see if Amaranth can get away with hot tub streams. We're good. We're still alive. That's all that matters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The It's like and my puppies are different from.
Yes, that is very true. Very, very different.
Although I do got my
There's TVA
ink showing.
There you go. There's the ink showing.
Maybe that's when there's a hot tub.
Oh, the hot tub is ongoing, man.
I know.
Yeah,
You did win that.
Let's not try.
It's in the middle of it.
I didn't know that I thought you'd already won.
No, that was just the deposition the other day. One of the
funniest things I've ever read.
One of the funniest
Drew,
depositions of all time.
you keep lagging, by the way. So I don't know if you're on your house Wi-Fi or your regular cell phone Wi-Fi.
We need to
Gotcha.
to the other side to be closer to your Wi-Fi.
Either that, or I'll just turn off Wi-Fi and turn on 5G.
There you go.
Also,
That may help out a lot more.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, hey, man.
Oh, hey, man.
Saboteur over here. Give me a hot mic.
What,
Confidential information.
Oh, Jesus.
My God.
They didn't hear anything, Steve. Don't worry.
You told me you were starting with Ref Dave, and here I see
No, I told
the
you you were starting
faction
Zach and Ref
Wars
Dave.
runner-up, Super Show Olympic winner Drew Matson, the highest man alive.
Hello.
Hello, man.
What's up?
Ref Dave will
Now,
be in
now I got an audible to my.
12:30. I told you that.
Cool little mat.
That's a cool mat.
Yes. If you are backing for a tier, you might get one.
Ooh. Alrighty then. Yeah.
Fine.
Yes, Rambo, we are starting early. Yes, we are.
Gratis, I guess. Gratis cloud. The ones that are that way. Yeah. What all the top parts? Thin cloud. Right.
I think they're serious.
Yeah, that's what they are.
Yeah.
Like a stratosphere.
Different kind of cloud, Jeremy.
Looks like. Not that.
I just remember Cirrus being the thin and
that
wispy.
sounds right, yeah.
Yeah, Cirrus are thin and wispy.
Thanks for class of W clouds.
Listen, brother, the only cloud I respect is cumulonimbus.
That's the big boy.
Yeah, that's the big boy.
I know what cumulonimbus is. The one. Yeah, why are we named cloud? I don't. Cumulonimbus.
Greek, honestly.
Steve, you want any of this on the show at all or no?
What do you mean?
What you have on your thing?
Sure.
Okay. Just making sure.
I was over here talking about clouds, bro. I didn't even know if I was going through or not. Am I lagging?
You're fine now. No more lag.
Okay. Yeah, because I swapped to the 5G.
Yep.
Val says he's got like one or two more competitors left, so that's pretty cool.
Wow, Val's
We should have.
One should be Trey.
What is his name?
Probably Trey. I don't,
or what?
Orchestra Red. Did Trey submit his character?
I don't. Drew. He's lagging out. Alabama Wi-Fi, folks.
Don't be hating. So we have their gimmick and everything? Because I specifically said, if you do not have your gimmick and finishers, I am not doing this episode. I want to go on record and say that. So Schmidt, you got everything, right? We're good.
So they have their stuff ready, but they're frozen right now. And they just dipped out. All right.
Did you drop that stuff in the chat?
They said it to me. Let me get it in properly. Let me have Zach type it out for me, please and thank you.
But the logos are in chat? Or
in the chat we have here. Hey, Drew.
Yeah, I randomly lost internet connection on the 5G, so I'm moving the table closer to the house so that maybe the Wi-Fi is better.
All right. So, what was the gimmick you guys were talking about with me before? Because Steve was curious.
No, Steve said verbatim. All right, we're gonna cut this crap right now, Mr. Brian Schmidt. All right, Steve said no one gets on the show today unless they submit all the information because I'm not cooking. I'm too busy, man.
Okay, well, I've got you one then.
Good. Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, so the gimmick, when I roll my 5 or 6, I can shuffle a card from my hand into my deck and then draw a card.
So kind of like
And then that's all dependent though. Kind of like Nickel Mine, all that, but a little different.
It's like a combination of
Yeah.
Nickel Mine
and Pluto, yeah. And then the which would make it right, or what I'd want, which is unique spotlight, which is when I shuffle my deck, my opponent buries a card in their hand.
Yeah, shuffle your deck, bury a card.
no way. Next, sorry, you're not getting 5s and 6s. Make your opponent bury a card. No chance.
There's so many
Next,
powers
try
nowadays,
again.
though.
No way.
Well, you got to cook then.
I will.
We gotta cook.
But that's way too good.
You think so?
Because
no one, you're the only person
yeah,
that
because
said
you're
it's
gonna
good.
do it. You're gonna do it for that. Then they're gonna bury a card. Then you're gonna play a stop that makes you shuffle back. Then they're gonna bury a card. Then you're gonna play Razor Whip, which makes the it's it's gonna be too much.
Or they could just play the 26 or Impact This Family and turn off the whole thing.
They do that, but that's like a huge cost,
Or
right?
7
If you're
through 9.
Or
running
the 7 through 9.
If
no,
you're running,
most people run it nowadays.
We just talked about it yesterday, Steve. It's not that huge of a cost.
okay, so do me a favor. In this week's event, run all 3 of those and don't run any fight in the dogs and see if you have a big enough advantage. I think it's going to be.
I don't even own those cards.
I was about to say, I know for a fact I've got double leg bridge and pushing on the turnbuckle in a bunch of decks.
Yeah, that's why you came in second in Faction Wars this year, baby.
Oh, yeah.
You got to love
Mr.
Schmidt. He's a saboteur. He's on my team. I throw a jab friendly at our opposition, and he grunts in displeasure on it. Yeah. Schmidt, you were on the winning team.
I know, but I'm being...
on the winning team.
I didn't have the clearance to release spin wheel kick and triangle stretch
×2
for my Faction Wars.
Excuse me. Project Spider thinks Admiral Grumpy is way better than my version. You have more triggers. I disagree, clearly. But your regime seems to think that Admiral Grumpy was the better pick.
That's also old school.
Yeah, old school versus,
Cool versus
Schmidt, whose side are you on?
I'm just stating a fact. Jeez, man.
Yeah, getting the facts from you is like getting facts from a Cracker Jack box that's been on the shelf for 30 years.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Yo,
so I'm very happy to be here. I'm fired up, as you can see. Two of the newest additions overall to Super Show. I know it's getting to the point where they're not rookie status, but you want to talk about the tail end of new players compared to the OGs. I'd say your squad as a whole has made the single biggest new player impact in history. Now you're going back to thinking at sometimes like Polka's crew and those guys were new and Rust Belt, but let's just call it the TVA for argument's sake, has brought to the table has really been amazing.
Yeah, I've talked with a few like veterans, but they're like, yeah, it's like the fact that we were able to like come in and be good at the issue like is what sets us above.
And I think it's I think there's a lot of like people think there's a one path to success, right? Zach obviously more so than any other player in recent memory has put burial back in the forefront of being like a viable strategy. Most people didn't go for that hand destruction deck, and I'm talking like all in hand destruction. Dudes running butt stomp ×3 despite all the other options. So I think that like not only did you guys come in, but you kind of came in and did it different ways. Everybody knows I love the GRUFP, praise the Grump, and that was really because the Grump kind of did similar to what you guys did, where he came in and did very, very well, and his deck list and his strategies were much different than what we were used to seeing consistently. I say it a million times. New York meta did not play Chugga Chugga ever. You know, that's like historical fact. You know, Grump came in with diving takedown into Chugga Chugga, changed things up. You know, we see Stand From Your National Anthem. As you mentioned, you guys are like, every event is Impact This Family. Everyone has a rolling forearm. It's a kind of different world out there. I know you guys like Fire One Across the Bows and like skull busting swings, you know, a little bit more of the pressure skill cards rather than the defense every time. So it's really awesome to see as a designer, like the top tier players doing something kind of out of the box from what we normally see. Schmidt, if you could just redrop, just so I don't lose internet here, the logos into the Zoom chat.
Sure.
Whatever it is.
Sure.
Zach,
Easy.
so I never heard of Sleep Token until probably 48 hours ago.
Have you listened to that?
Yeah, so Mr. Polverino, I mean, I probably heard the name, but I really didn't know what it was. We were talking about it Monday night, overnight. Polverino sent me some stuff where he like combined, like he said, it's like baby making music first and like death metal or heavy metal. I don't know. I don't want to say death metal because Matt Haas's hair is going to stand on the back of his neck wherever he is.
It's metal.
Send me a 30 page. Yeah. So I only heard one song and weird. You know, no. I'm a very big on like not. I don't really believe in musical genres. I think music is music, so I like when people do different things. But my first listen to,
I got that.
The guy's voice was absolutely incredible. It gets a little bit wonky. I feel like it's a little bit of an acquired taste, and I haven't sipped enough from the Sleep Token cup to get fully into it. But
that's fair.
I'm interested in it. All right, what's your power?
Okay, power is 7. Tech 9. Agility 6. Agility 6. Strike 10.
Nice.
And then you can leave the other 2.
What's sub? Leave the other 2?
That's it. 8 and 5. You got it.
Nice.
What is that one? Summoner Jason. Couldn't quite fully commit to Summoner.
When you roll, so this would be when you roll agility or grapple for your turn roll. I'll be honest with you. I think Unique is one of those, like I had like mentioned it in the chat, that there are characters that I feel are broken as hell that are not even like listed in the top 100. I will say that Unique's Spotlight is definitely one of my book that I think is way too powerful and would be on like the errata list, just because I've had to be fair, I don't nowadays. It's way worse with her. She gets double triggers, right? Because she'll be like, I'm going to repeated super kick you, and you're going to very well.
So, like, but the problem with me with her is I think the best way to play her is with draw stops. So you're still giving your opponent a card even when you hit, because like the whole power of her is to see 3 cards every time you stop a card.
Yeah, I mean the double stop triggers is pretty nuts because I don't know how many there are now. I'm sure there's a good amount. But like back in the day when we used to have the Unique issues, it was like, I'll play a repeated super kick. You'll bury 2 for card effect. I'll shuffle back 2. I'll gimmick, and then you'll bury another one. You know, it was like super suppressive. Yeah, and her finishers are kind of bombs too, right? They got some good stuff.
So the strike is good, obviously, if they're not playing. It's pretty good. The grapple, I think, is super slept on. Like, I think that grapple is crazy. In the mid game, like late game, it gives your opponent
if you don't kill, it gives your opponent out for it. But like in the mid game and early game, it can be extremely oppressive.
And the shovel is nuts. The new one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if they don't have the freeze don't move, the shovel is really good, especially late game. They don't is really good. Yeah, I play a lot of unique, a lot.
Yeah.
That's cool. I really don't see her a lot. She's good. She's
well, I supposedly got a hardcore shot with her last year, and it never came to fruition. So I haven't been playing her. I don't want to move her up in the. I don't want to move her up in the rankings just in case that ever happens.
Right now,
it's good to keep those guys in your back pocket.
Yeah,
we had some really
gotta
interesting spider chats. You know, I did what I vowed not to do. I don't think I threw a full-fledged bazooka into the spider chats, but I definitely lobbed like a small hand grenade in the vicinity.
I'm gonna
Is
be
this
honest,
your whole logo?
I'd rather that than
just the name.
Nice.
I told Chris to cook something up.
Did you want to put like the highest?
It's better conversation than some of the ones we've.
You can do whatever. I'm pretty open. Like I really didn't have many ideas past what I have given you now.
Yeah. I think if we do the spotlight, it should be when you roll agility, not both. So you get like a mock Ariel, which I kind of think is fitting. I don't think it should just be straight
but
shuffling.
See, I'm not gonna lie. Here's my thing with that is I'll just play Ariel or Drew.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to make something that's like I don't know, a little different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that.
You know what I mean? Because like I'm not.
It's hard. I mean, Ariel and Drill are obviously
like
world contenders. You know, you get played as much. I don't see this thing not having the capability of going to Worlds. If any of those, you know, faction wars, they drafted 2 people that do something similar, right? So there's definitely like proof in the pudding.
Right.
Shuffling your deck and getting a new card when you lose a roll is very good. So I just don't know if it needs that on top of like mega hand destruction, because you're triggering off 1/3 of your rolls, which is like I'm gonna lose my roll and you're gonna bury a card, and if I don't lose the roll, then chances are every single card in my deck has the possibility to make you bury a card. I'm gonna jackhammer you. I'm gonna kill a card in play, shuffle 2, draw 1, and make you bury 1. You know, it seems like
okay.
Too much.
What if the spotlight was like it only triggered off my gimmick and not card effects?
Yeah,
that would be more reasonable. You know, I think that for sure would be more reasonable.
So my counter thoughts were either that or make it where we both have to bury a card.
Yeah, both hands. If it was although
I think the final probably still a little better, but they're both kind of equal. Like they both have pros and cons.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Do we have a constellation logo? Is that going on here?
Give me a second. I'll put it on.
Yeah,
Zach, a while ago, I texted you something from pop culture, and I think it was like Odin or something.
Yeah, you said Odin is called the high one or something like that.
The highest one.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That is a pretty cool name, and I feel like it has like a double, right? Like the highest meaning like the biggest god, and also
that's fine. I don't mind putting it on there.
All the Val's files are the highest.
I was just pretty open.
Constellation logo in the chat.
Okay. Feels all right.
Sorry, I had some important business to get to, which was with the delay. But I did hear some cool Olympic chats going on. I think we're in for a fun ride.
Yeah, Drew said that I'm drafting from his position last year, so I have to go ahead and say Steve Rest, pick one, right? That's how it has to go.
Right.
I might not even be in the draft this year. You guys are missing out.
Come on. You're gonna be in.
It's filled up relatively quickly.
16
right?
more spots coming out.
There's still 16 slots.
Yeah, it was only for 64, so there's a couple left.
All right, so there's a good chance I'll be in there. I've reached out to like a couple of the newer players too that I feel like would be interested. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we had somebody in the dojo chat the other day was watching the match and was talking, and it was like, even, and of course, like me being a jerk, I'm like, yeah, he takes my calls too, buddy.
Huh.
And then he was like, yeah, he's trying to get the game into my store, and then I changed my tone quite a lot.
It's the guy from Brooklyn.
Oh, Sam Torres. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a good force. They've been doing a lot of drafting. You know, they like the draft format, so they want to learn the Olympics to kind of get into constructed format.
Oh, nice.
If they all get into there.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty good. All right, Constellation's in the chat, right?
Yep, it's in the chat.
Zoom is so weird to navigate when you have screen share on. How's my audio? My headset broke today.
Your audio's fine, brother.
It's good? Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Because my headset broke and I'm using just a headset with no microphone.
You're good. I would have told you if we had an issue. You're good.
I don't know, Schmidt. I don't know if I believe
Steve.
So who came up with the name The Constellation? Because I think that's a really great faction.
It's from Drew's promo, one of our original promos.
The original like announcing the TVA promo.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
so we got somebody.
We were announcing who we were getting coached by in Rising Stars, and there's so many stars here, might as well call it the Constellation.
Oh, so it was you.
And Chuck's mind was blown.
Good line. It was a great line.
Yeah.
Just to pat myself on the back, in my fun little disc, the Candyman, I opened with Candyman found her true vocation, which is taking up space in the constellation, and I think that is like one of the funniest lines because like the double on like taking up space, and like the constellation is made up of stars, and then like it was a good line. Not true in any sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
A great player, great person, but definitely a good disc.
I definitely do not co-sign it, but it is funny.
It is a good line. It's a good diss line for sure.
Always a blast working with you guys and Angela especially. All right, I think this looks really sick, actually.
Yeah.
So what if as a starting point, it was when you roll agility or grapple for your turn, roll your opponent berries, which I still think is kind of ridiculous, but I mean, I'm willing to try it, you know?
Okay. That sounds...
I think
I'm a good there for a starting point.
It's like I've maintained in an open field, if you don't prepare in some way for a spotlight, you're asking to die to like one.
You know, and what's funny is like New York is like our area is obviously dominated by the school of Polverino, right?
Right.
And I don't always agree with his calls, right? So, for example, a lot of his like deck combos I think are pretty ingenious. That the game is like so simple and he'll like
draw cards is good in every card game.
But he'll be like, all right, if my number 7 is forearm shot, then like my number 16 is ripcord lariat, because then I could do like forearm shot to shuffle back the 4 stops I need, and then I could ripcord lariat to finish back to my hand and like have so I feel like he has a really good mind for like that. And take it right back.
Right up into your hand. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I don't agree with, right? Like Polverino is all like, for a while it was like you had to run taunting impact suplex ×3, right? And like the proof is in the pudding. The guy did really well, right? But like I feel like I've also done really well, and I think only
for a while that was closer to the meta.
But like I would only do one, and I feel like Polverino will never use impact his family if his life depended on it, He just wouldn't do it. It's like champion a Kickstarter or something that's very good.
Well, that's that prostate.
Yeah, I
addicted to champion a Kickstarter.
Listen, bro. He's given entire paragraphs on why champion Kickstarter is the best. There's no.
I've given entire paragraphs on why it's the worst.
Yeah, I'm talking. It's hilarious just because it's like when Impact His Family came out, like we had been getting roughshod, run over by this jerk next to me, Phoenix EV Fresh.
Well,
and a couple other characters like the Gias, all these characters they get a slight. So when I heard that was coming out, I was like, all right, I found my entrance for life. And then it won me a CAC against Phoenix EV Fresh.
Yeah, listen, it's no doubt to me that like a spotlight, everybody would be like, boss, why so much spotlight haste? Why so much if stop tape? It's like, it is a second effect that your opponent doesn't get, right? Like, if you don't have a spotlight, you know what my finisher does when it's stopped? Nothing. It does nothing. It has no effect on the game. Like, so the fact that like I could play a card and it either hits you and gives me an opportunity to win the game, or it puts me in like a better state than I was before is so powerful. That's why like I was eventually like, okay, yes, impact this family, which is something I was normally against. I was wrong. It's a great idea. Now, instead of you having 4 effects, you have 3, right? I mean, you have 2, right? At the cost of my entrance card. So like it's definitely a fair trade-off. Running the risk. I do like that. I don't typically run Kickstarter. There are some decks where I feel like it's a necessity. When I want to see
your factory.
Yeah, so like when I won the CAC,
Wars winning deck, yeah.
Yeah, when I won the CAC, I had to use it for donation because it was like a huge part of this strategy. Yeah. I used it with Sammy Callahan Revolver Edition because it was great, and like I used it in Faction Wars because I needed cards in my discard pile for my gimmick, so like made sense. But typically, unless like my gimmick screams I need this card, I don't reach for it. You know, really, I'm never like this is the answer. What do you want to call this strike?
Schmidt has the names of them.
Yep. Give me a second. The strike name is Purifying Smoke Punch.
Purifying?
Yeah, Purifying.
Yeah, Purifying Smoke Punch.
They're all references to the art that the art came from.
Is Sleep Token your favorite band currently?
That's so literally that was just a short IAC, and I didn't know what else to do, so I just put it on. But I mean, they're definitely like top 3 currently.
Who's in the running for the other tops?
I mean, it's like we just went and saw New York's Finest last night. Will always probably be one of my favorite bands.
Oh, never heard of it.
It's Coheed and Cambria.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
From right here
Coheed,
in Nyack, New York, baby.
Yeah, and
I thought the name was actually New York's Finest.
Not in Cambria. They're just really good for me. They're good.
Awesome live band.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, yeah, they are incredible.
Got to see.
I saw them, I believe, at like one of the like. It probably wasn't Warped Tour. It was probably some tour with a lot of people were featured on. It was great.
Yeah, last night was like my 12th or 13th time seeing them.
Hey, it's like my 5th.
It doesn't matter.
But yeah, I've been pretty obsessed with Sleep Token.
Yeah, I want to listen to it more. I don't think it's any secret. I'm a big fan of Machine Gun Kelly, and he does a lot of like cross-genre music, even more so lately. I mean, it's always been the case, despite what like people think from the Eminem rap beef. But like even now, he's been doing like some really weird stuff, and like it definitely works. There's like a song he just did recently that was like "Bye Bye Bye" beat on like a hip hop. It was really good in general. But yeah, I do like it when people have like a pretty unique sound. All right, so I'm doing a very strange thing right here for anybody who's interested in Photoshop. There might be an easy way to do it, but I added the highest one underneath your logo, so they're not connected. They're 2 separate layers. But like on top of that, I have a stroke behind the letters, which means if I copied and pasted the text right now, it wouldn't copy that black outline. So what I'm going to do is something really strange. Is I'm going to make sure there's nothing behind that logo. And I'm going to add a layer, which I did this little black dot. And then I'm going to merge everything you see together into one picture, right? So this is really just one thing right now, right? And then I'm going to copy this logo. which now I have everything I need in one place. And save me a lot of time. See that? Voila.
Nice.
Sure.
Oh, there's probably someone who actually knows how to work Photoshop in here that's like, you idiot, there's a way easier way to do that without jeopardizing all your files. But that works for me pretty quick. And now you just undo all the nonsense that I just did to make sure I don't ruin Zach's character, and we get a version of a trio without logos on it.
Hey, you did pretty good.
All right, what was the effect
Strike
on
effect.
the purifying smoke punch?
Okay, so I really just want it to be a stat stick with no effect if possible, but I have a backup if you don't want that.
Just stat bonus.
What is your strike is 10, right?
Yeah, like
okay.
Yeah.
What's your
like,
power?
So in an ideal world, the two that I would love would either be, which I know this one would be tough, is 3 to the 6 and 7. But I would also, the Rising Sun type finish where it's 3 to the 7 and 1 to the 8 with like maybe a little effect on it would be okay too.
I don't really think there's anything wrong with that. I just was trying to figure out what those skills are, you know? So for me, like, when I see a punch, it's like agility, power.
Agility and power, yeah. Christmas colors.
Okay, so agility is what?
It would, I mean, in the ideal world, it'd be +3 to the agility and +3 to the power.
What's the low? I think +3.
Like
Let's see what we got with the other stuff. Schmidt, you got all these effects jotted down, right? You said a +3/+1, like the Rising Sun at one point, but I don't know what that was.
The Rising Sun one is he has a +3 to the 7 and a +1 to the 8.
That's the and it has like the lariat effect.
Yeah,
that one's really that bonus is weaker than this. That's what I was asking about.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite finishes in the game.
That's great. What would this be for your guy?
That'd be at that stat line currently, it'd be 3 9s and a 10 on the stat bonus.
That's pretty cool, no? Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. I mean, if I can't get the 2 10s and 2 9s, I'll take the 3 9s and a 10. You know what I mean?
This is the submission. And which one was the spotlight?
The submission.
How unprotected is this? We're getting bamboozled here.
Submission.
It's the least. It's my 7 and 6. I mean,
I think it's the same as Unique.
Not too bad. I've seen yours.
Yeah, it's not on my 5.
Yeah, it's not 5 6. No.
Unique is not
it's
ranking
5-7.
top 100, right?
Nope, because I'm like the only person who plays her.
Yeah.
Crazy. That would be one of the people that I'd be like, you guys are nuts.
Every time I play her, it feels that way.
If we could quit talking about her for the next couple weeks.
Yeah, can we keep her on the low?
Yeah, I mean, so there are a couple. John P has stumbled upon 2 of them back to back. But Unique is definitely another one. I would say off the top of my head, with Unique off the board, I have 2 other characters that blow my mind that are not in that category. One of them I think is like a huge offender. Again,
I think I'm going to play a huge offender in your event tonight that's not top 96.
Is it new or is it old? Because like if it's new and not top 96, I could be like a little bit more.
Well, let's put it this way. She was top 96 at one point, and then they decided to not do.
Oh.
Oh, that's
all
so
right.
beautiful.
Name for the sub is this. I'm going to spell it out. Ishvalan. ISHVALAN. Gas mask. 3 seconds.
Ishvalan.
What does that mean?
It's so the show that this move is from, the dude who does the thing, that's the country he's from.
Oh, nice.
So like I said, everything is like a little reference to the show.
Is that a real country or is that fantasy?
Fantasy.
It's a It's a fantasy. Yeah.
Animated fantasy shit.
Yeah, all my finishers are from anime because I'm a giant nerd.
Freaking true grumpy fit.
And true, hey, I almost did want a grumpy stat line, so.
I just want to grab a jelly for your turn roll.
Good. 701.
This still might be way too good.
Hey, I'm willing to be worlds and stuff. That's fine with me. I don't actually care.
Well, I do. So.
I mean, card has to be a discard.
That's so hard to do, Schmidt.
I know. I'm not even. I'm just gonna shut my mouth.
I mean, listen. We know how to get spotlights in and how to prevent them. It still hasn't slowed many of them down. My thing is 1/3 of the rolls your opponent buries a card. Might be really, really good. I don't know if we'll see making impacts and things come back.
You play an event with a TVA, that spotlight, that thing gonna be blank.
Hey, locals, I'm doing nothing with.
It will be sharpshooter.
Yeah.
The locals, it will literally be a sharp
With a Carter clutch, yeah.
So for a serious question for you guys, right? When I play a character that has a spotlight finish and it has blank text, it doesn't really switch my game plan up too much, you know. Like if like playing the finish grapple is the way to go, and my finish grapple is blank, I just slam it and just hope for the best, you know.
Well,
are you like, if my
I
finisher is blank, I don't do it?
Here's the way I'm looking at it, right? So if they do blank my spot, I'm running a berry deck. I now just have a really shitty deck for the most part because like I'm not burying off of my gimmick at all.
A bad deck.
A bad deck. My bad bits. Yeah. So like I just think like if it is blank, like, and I'm running like the full aggressive bear deck like I have been known to do, it is good because like I'm now having to win tools in order to make my opponent bury, and it's just never going to catch up. Like, I don't think this deck can be played as a full berry deck.
It'd be hard with it being dependent on a spotlight. The reason why TVA Commissioner area works is because it's the gimmick, not the spotlight.
Yeah, and I think you just kind of backdoor into it, right? Like a little berry here and there never hurt nobody.
Yeah, I mean that's
but
the way.
I wouldn't go crazy with this. Like,
I mean, yeah, it's
you do the moonsault. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Moonsault, that is one of my favorite lines. I was really hesitant on it being too good. I really happen to like that. I'm actually, again, we're talking about the differences between Poverino and myself, and there are lots of them. I have no issue running 2 moonsaults in a deck. You know, I did it in Faction Wars. I did it with Terrascope. So, like, I feel like having.
Hey, yeah, when it works, right?
And yeah, and it's like. It exactly when it hits, it like is a game changer, you know. And I think that there are so many other options for recursion nowadays. Like especially I mentioned like Fight the Dog before, and you have really good like 16s through 18s that spam a finisher, and like.
I think it's a sign that the card game is good in the way that there is a like I would say,
Steve, on the sub finish,
there is
a one hard
more hard. But like, there's like more consistent cards, but then there's like outliers, like you're saying, where you like run 2 of those, like, and can catch people off because it's so counter meta that it's like people don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah, like I always joke, with your top player, if you're going up against top guys, just play Derailed in your deck because like a lot of people here spend so much energy on the cage stops and all this stuff to like build up the wall. And then like when you break the wall down and all their, you know, their friendly draws and stuff are in play, now you're going back to like who wins a turn roll and flings the finish first, right? And, like,
hey, you know what's really fun? To play Derailed and Unique.
Derailed is crazy with her too. Like that's why it's like you got so many really dope tricks. And then on top of it, it's like I have this finish strike that never goes away, you know?
Yeah.
Is it one of them is like your opponent discards their hand and then you like add 3 cards back, right? Isn't that like one of her finishers? So like her finish package is like reset your
Yeah,
opponent's
they discard
hand.
their hand and then they randomly add 3 cards. It's the grapple.
Yeah, randomly, not even picked.
No, yeah, it's randomly add 3 from your discard pile to your hand. That's your new hand.
Savage.
I love that finish so much.
Yeah, savage. Oh man, I would like this to be.
So about my grapple, well, Steve,
Yeah.
we were just talking about it. Really, a really good one, you know.
What's that? Oh, the spitting blood.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you? I kind of don't have a really good idea for the grapple. So you want to cook one up with me?
I'm thinking. Yeah, let's think.
You want to pull and die? Say, wait, what? Yeah, I thought he could hold his breath for an hour. I don't know. He thought he was awesome. He thought he was awesome. That's the limit, you know.
I'll go to red on this for a while.
Yeah. So I didn't really there was no heat per se. This is the first time I think oh my. Stampede. I'm waiting. Oh, it's on this stuff.
What's the name of this one? I have to know.
It is smoke.
Steam.
No, it's steamroller.
Yeah, steamroller da! Exclamation point.
And oh, for a second I thought you were picking it. You're smashing down on it like the Hulk smash kind of thing.
Yeah. It is definitely him getting smashed with a smoke steamroller.
And I'm positive you were 100% sober when you came up with that concept.
Yeah, it's from my favorite show of all time.
What's that one?
JoJo's Bizarre.
JoJo's Bizarre. That never heard of it.
Yeah, the dude stops time and then hits somebody with a road roller. Is that Titan? It's your guy, Chris Andrews. He's the only on one of my finishes, so I was like, well, hell yeah, dude.
He's got the Valtar logo on his chest. It's mad funny.
It is.
A little cheap pop for Val here.
Hey, I don't blame him. Get
Hell yeah, right? He deserves it after all this.
where you can, right? Yeah, he went in on these. I was pretty happy with them.
I still, to this day, and this was before your time, there was a time where people called for Val's head to no longer work for us.
Really?
Yeah, and I never thought he was like that
He's
bad.
real popular now.
Yeah.
He must have just found his style.
I've been happy with all 3 of my artists, honestly.
We zoomed with him a little bit, and I was like, "Hey, look, this is like I edited your thing with like a tool. Like I didn't change any of his art." And I was like, "This kind of makes the detail pop more." And he's like, "Well, how'd you do that?" And I was like, "Well, it's about this tool." And then I don't know. After that, he just was doing like crazy stuff. I think he just kind of like finds. Yeah, I don't know. He did. I'm like obviously super happy that it was. I always liked him from the beginning. Like his original stuff was under Roval, which is Val obviously short for that. So if you ever see that, it's like that was like original Val. And then once it started getting popular, people were like super shocked that he had a name change. You know, they were like pleasantly surprised to find out that that was him. All right. What I was thinking was look at your opponent's hand, choose 2 cards, and discard them. Then they randomly add 2 cards from their discard pile to their hand. I don't know if it needs to be 3.
Oh, I mean,
because if it's 3, it's obviously better. You have a chance of
a lot of times
getting it back.
Yeah, I mean, in the early game, they'll probably just be putting down the same cards and picking them right back up.
Yeah, I mean, you could. Again, this might be a stretch, but I'm sure there are like entrance cards that prevent that some way, that prevent your opponent from adding it back to their hand, right? I don't know the timing on those, but there are definitely cards that like once per match, when your opponent would add a card to their hand, they don't. So I'm sure like that would work. I mean, aside from that, you could also do things like
that's never ending rivalry. It just says that they add it back randomly instead, which is what the effect already is.
Do discard.
What was that?
Half rounded down. Discard half rounded down. Add 2 back.
Half your hand. That seems way more powerful.
Maybe if he's already playing a berry deck, it's not going to be much. And they add 2.
I mean, so at 10 they would go to 5 and then go back to 7.
Yeah. And you could make it manual randomly, and then they randomly add. So they can keep their stops that didn't stop the finish.
Your opponent randomly discards half their cards from their hand. Ref Dave is in the booth.
My guy. My stock card.
Opponent randomly discards half their hand. No, we should do it up, right? So if they're at 10, they would go to 5 and then up to 7.
Yep.
If they're in that position, they already couldn't stop the finish. So,
well, that's one of the things that like Casey Ryan's finisher is powerful. It's probably one of the most powerful cards we've always printed.
Yeah, nothing better than that.
Yeah, we're not asking for reduced breakout rules.
No,
I don't think anything on this touches that one card on Casey Ryan's.
Yeah, I think again it's too strong, but let's see how it shakes out as a new character. Casey has offered to buy every single one of his characters from me to monopolize them and give them out. That's what he has. That is the latest pitch on my desk. Can I buy all of the Caseys?
I played against one last night, so Monopoly doesn't exist.
That's hilarious.
Well, yeah. There are some out there for sure, but I mean, there's probably
one.
a
Jonathan Correa has one.
Yeah, and how'd it go? Did you get what?
I got one. Thanks, Casey.
Did you get whooped?
Shout out, Casey.
No, he's talking about 64.
I will have one.
Yeah.
Shout out, Casey.
Yeah.
So on that card, it's obviously top tier. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's not top tier, but like one of the things that was when me and Poverino and some other guys were like doing the randomization, it's like, hey, we're gonna draw 10 cards, we can do this. It's like you have to understand that for it to hit, like you didn't have the stops for the grapple. So like you're gonna have less stops in your hand, hopefully, right? There's not gonna be a time where you randomly reveal and you reveal drop kick. So you gotta be ready for that.
But the issue is in that finish, you put that card you revealed. So if he pulls the same stop 3 times, nothing stopped it from you to the game just being over.
Yeah, and that actually could be. I mean, on the other end, if you're somebody like me who plays a little bit more aggressive and has less stops, that's kind of towards your advantage, right?
That's true. It is quite useless against people in Florida.
Yeah.
I will say it is also better late game. It has more stops in it in general, and you've gotten rid of all your draw cards and stuff. So late game, it can just immediately destroy stuff.
Yeah, my apply pressure.
Yeah. So this is a card effect I had an idea for last night. This is one of my like random card effects, and it's funny that like you just mentioned that because I feel like it's in time with what I was talking about. I don't know what the balance of it would be, but something along the lines where it's like, look at your opponent's hand. You know, if they have like 10 cards in their hand or max hand size, whatever it was, and then if they have X numbers of stops, they like randomly discard 4. You know,
For
so like
stop or hands.
Hand. Like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the idea, I don't have the effect fleshed out, but the idea was like your opponent has this huge wall and you throw it, and like if they just have 9s, and I think it would have to be high, right? Because for me, when you get to that like past berry stage of the game, most people keep their stops in their hand and just spam their finisher, right? So like the idea was like if your opponent is keeping like, I have my 3 stop any's, my 3 follow-up stops, my C1 stop 1, and a punch. Now they play this card and you have 9 stops in your hand, they get wrecked. So I thought it'd be an interesting card effect. I don't know if it'd be a skill card or how you would use it.
What would you think about for the stats instead being on and like 3 to the 6 or 2 to the 7? I like top end boosting more than bottom end boosting if possible.
He's a 50-50.
I'm a 50-50 guy. I love the 50-50.
I'm not married to any idea. I just try to, whenever I'm making a card, it has to make sense for me. Like you're picking up a truck and flying through the air and slamming it down to it. So like for me, that wouldn't necessarily make sense to add to technique. You know, it's not really a technical move, but I don't know what bonuses you were talking about, but that's how I kind of look at these cards.
I
you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's weightless.
So like what were the skills?
I was gonna say,
what were the skills you were requesting?
That would be agility and technique. But I could also, I mean, yeah. It would be 3 to the agility and 1 to the tech.
3 because he's flying around, 1 to the manipulating smoke.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. That's 9 and 10s. I feel like this might be
2 10s and a 9.
Okay. Let's look at.
Okay. Well, how about like out 2 to the 7 then? So it's not as bad, and I have more botches.
2 to the 7 would it have that power you were talking about for slamming it down, or hell, 3 to the 7 and change the other one.
Oh my god! I just ordered an image and asked this guy to put a coconut, and he came back with a baseball bat. It looks cool. I'm not gonna lie, it looks awesome. Maybe I'll stick with the baseball bat. All right, we're looking at Niccolo Mai. Niccolo is 4 5 3 4. We currently have 5 4 and 3. Wow, I'm good. I think it should be plus. If you want to go that way, I think it'd be better off going +3 agility, +1 power. That's just me. Now, if you want to take my advice on it, which you don't have to, I would prefer to do that in general because I could throw a triangle stretch in and none of my stuff hits technique, and that's like my favorite thing ever. So
what
that's
about
what I would propose?
One.
You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying 3 to the.
Like I would say, like instead of
agility
doing
and
plus
1 to power.
So you go 7 to an 8, 6 to a 9, and then again, if you have triangle stretch, you have 9 to a 10 or mind games or whatever. I mean, it's no secret that if I see a character who has a 9 with no bonuses, I'm playing something to pump that 9 to a 10 for my finish rolls and stuff. I think that's like a pretty elite trick.
I mean,
kind of sneaky.
Kind of like against what I normally do, but I can see the merit in it.
You know,
He's not one to help his opponent either. So it's.
This one is 7 to a 9, 6 to a 9. That's pretty top heavy.
Oh no, the sub. I was fine with the sub having literally no stats on it.
Oh yeah, the sub doesn't need anything.
Like just the effect. They don't need stats.
That's why I brought up the spitting blood or whatever.
Yeah, because hers doesn't have it either.
Stats.
I don't think that's yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Oh, see. You guys gonna stick around for Ref Dave? I think that'd be a ton of fun. Or you got
I can. I can.
Yeah, I'll be around. I'll be sitting around.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get out and
Pure
I might go extracurricular for a second.
No, I love it. I love the different feedbacks. Oh, what was the name of this one again? I'm sorry.
Steamroller,
and then
it's in the
DA.
chat.
Yeah.
Steam.
If it sounds weird, it's from the anime.
Yeah.
Good thing you're not from Cleveland.
What does that mean? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking more of like the apparatus used for something along the lines of my character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me, who spent too much time on Urban Dictionary.
Huh.
Oh my God. I had a new one
when you
this
play
week.
this card.
You must read that. No,
I had
Steve
a new
already
one this
shut
week,
down.
but I was like, so Poverino, you ever hear of an angry dragon? And he's like, no. I'm like, well, this is what it is, and it's hilarious.
Oh, a bad dragon or an angry dragon?
Angry dragon. I don't know what a bad dragon is, but
Well, you should Google it on a non-work safe computer. just don't Google it.
I mean, it's bad.
The view
It's
of
not
children is what I'm
that
saying.
bad. It's not like what Casey Ryan was talking about, smashing apples and stuff. But it was pretty bad.
Bad dragon shaped sex toy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is on par with that. Nothing too crazy, but funny. All right.
Oh, I see your comment, Bombada. That's because I don't need a card with high in the name to be the highest.
He is all.
He has transcended General Highness.
Yeah, RVD has to work.
I don't need keywords. I'm just there, brother.
Yeah, RVD. He has to try to get to the level Zach is at.
Good work with the logo, Schmidt. I think it's kind of cool. All right. I am just going to step upstairs for one moment. Let's get Ref Dave in here and
He's here.
download.
Thank you, Steve.
No,
yeah,
thank
when you get a
guys.
chance, can you send that to it?
Yeah. If Schmidt doesn't grab them, which he can, it's very easy for me after the show to screenshot them from my phone and send it. So just as long as you don't mind waiting to them, super easy for me to do that.
Hamilton does it to me first, of course.
Hamilton's like all American bong hit.
All American high. All right, I'll be right back. I might go inflate a damn pool toy as he inflates his lungs.
We're gonna have dead air for a while, I guess that means. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Dave. What's going on, brother?
Not much, man.
I'm just gonna turn off video.
Ref Dave, the winner of the 2020.
No.
I don't think I've won
the
anything.
winner of the 2026 CAC, Ref Dave.
Huh.
Maybe.
I vote for him.
I thought Robert the Brain Dunn was joining us. What
He'll be
happened to
right.
that
He'll be
buffoon?
right back.
He's coming back.
He'll be right back.
Thought for all the dental people that love the dentist, I could do this. That come across?
Dave's got personas he can use for the CCC.
If Ref Dave came in as Dental Dave and swept the CAC, it would be one of the most hilarious things ever.
It's a good idea, actually, because I feel like the CCC should be somebody like I've already been blessed with this. Like I feel like we should spread the love around a little bit, right?
Right.
Listen, you could win and make a Dental Dave, or we can negotiate a giveaway
or donate it.
To me, it's all about the participation and doing things that other games don't do. One of the things that I think is amazing. We were just at Geekway to the West. My neighbor called himself the Crit King. He was a very funny guy, very awesome. Loved Super Show. We traded some games. He got some stuff. I was like, man, it would be a disservice if you didn't enter the CCC. Not like, listen, you might not even win, but you're a game designer, make funny videos, you're big wrestling fans. At least it would get our audience to know who you are and maybe check out some of your stuff. I feel like it's win-win for everybody.
And with that attitude, I will happily enter.
Yes, Dave Yankum, DDS.
So I heard, I don't know if I don't know what Mulligan does these days. He just kind of comes and goes and sleeps and wakes up, shows up in.
I'm a big Pat Mulligan fan, so
I love Pat Mulligan. Okay, I mean he is like family to me at this point. My kids look for him, which is so disturbing. I wish they would gravitate to literally any other human being on the planet besides Pat Mulligan. But he has been around for nearly a decade. Great friend, great person, assisting at shows. In a lot of ways, top tier guy. But he's a friggin' wild card, man. Running the CCC, sleeping, showing up, not showing up. The guy shows up in friggin' at a Geekway to the West without letting me know he's there. I'm like, Pat, I know you're chasing this high to get a pop from me, but would have been nice to know if you were here. I'd have a badge and an empty bed for you instead of flying somebody's ass out. So always a fun ride with Pat. He did a phenomenal job with the Scally Wager and demoing. It never ceases to amaze me that Pat Mulligan literally does not let anyone win in demos, and people still enjoy the time. It's pretty fun.
Mulligan taught me how to play Super Show and beat me. Yes, that is true.
Yeah, he does not. He's just so punchable. Like you just look at him and you want to just beat him so bad in the wrestling ring, like metaphorically, that he kind of brings it out in you. So here we have Ref Dave, which he's got this cool little dual art, little Justin Timberlake hair working for him too. I will step right out. I'm just going to grab some water and I'll be right back down.
Virtual grand gathering to everyone.
Yes, it is time.
It was a fun kickoff last night. Couple good matches.
Yeah. Three turn new trios champion, all live on YouTube right now, folks. Yeah, I'm excited. Love doing this logo. It was a great time. I was trying to do the stripes on the beer cans, but
Looked cool, but not with the letters. If it was just the beer can stripe, it would have been cool. They need to make a beer like that, actually. I would drink that beer.
I think maybe they already do. I don't know.
Striped beer? A referee beer?
Maybe.
Somebody in chat, find us a referee beer. I'll order some right now.
Let's say hello to people in the chat real quick. Hello, yes. Hello, Dark Prince. Hello, Mr. Ron Rumble. Mythical Pancake. Hello. Princess Anika. Hello. Isaac Yankum. Dave DS. Makes sense. The Boom. Michael Kirk. Aaron 64. And that's it. That's all who's here.
Cool.
How's work going there, good friend?
Busy, man. And if you haven't noticed, I have cut back on my promos a little bit. I don't know if you watch the other product, but I have been elected the creative team of the wrestling company I work for, in charge of all their digital and shows. So my video production time has been spent putting together actual wrestling shows, and that should come out in a month or so, and then I'll have a little bit more free time again. So
nice.
So I'm excited about that.
Nice.
I got caught stealing marshmallows just now.
I'm sure you brush your teeth tonight, Steve. You're eating marshmallows all day.
Yes, you should. Not all day, just snagging on a couple. My kids are like, but Daddy took 2. It's like, oh, you rats. This episode has been brought to you by Bondies. Huge throwback. So, Dave, if you weren't around, we had a company that like worked with us to like promote their product, which was called Bondies, which in all seriousness was a really great product. I know they're still doing stuff, but I thought they'd be like much bigger than they were. It was a denture pad that you put in your dentures, and it uses no glue or anything. And when it gets wet,
Like, why are they sponsoring SRG games?
It wasn't really them sponsoring. It was just that they knew that we knew how to run like Kickstarters and stuff. So they had like brought us to like help set up the web pages and stuff.
Right, that makes more sense.
But like one time Bob bought the shirts and he used to wear these shirts. It was so hilarious. But it was like a pad that had no glue or adhesive that would go in the dentures, and when it would get like wet, it would create like a suction and it would hold the teeth in place for like a long time. And like people who used it kind of swore by it because he wasn't using like the denture glue and the denture paste. So I know.
Do you want me to clinically destroy that product, or
please do? I don't care. Yes? Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
If your denture is bad enough fitting that it does not, you need a pad to go in there. You need to get your denture remade. So if you can fit a pad between your denture and your teeth for suction, you can just go to the dentist and have them fix your denture. However, in the meantime, between the dentist fixing it and that, then that sounds like a great product.
So like what? I don't. Again, I'm not into that too much, but I assume there's like a huge demand and market for denture glue, right? So like it can't be basically every person who has dentures uses denture glue, right? To some degree.
If depending on the anatomical things, denture gets held in with suction. Like an upper denture is a lot more suction than a lower denture. So a lot of times they'll only wear it on their lowers because your tongue's there to push it around and all those things. By the way, I did not think this is the way this conversation would be going today.
Right? It's fun.
Yeah, no, but I like it. I enjoy it quite a bit. So depending on like how hard, like, is your palate shallow? Is it deep? Things like that. So it's just an additional adhesive. Perfect denture, if it's made really well, doesn't need adhesive at all. So, but not everything can be a perfect denture. So that's why it exists. I have a hilarious story on the way to denture pad. I had a patient in dental school that used his own homemade denture pad like you described, except it wasn't a clinical product. It was a slice of bologna, and he kept a package of bologna in his pocket. And anytime he felt he needed more suction, he would take out his denture, pull out the slice of bologna, put a new slice of bologna in, and push it into place. It is one of the most disgusting things I have ever seen in the clinic. It was gross.
There's a fine line between disgusting and genius, apparently.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder if he like when he was feeling bougie, he got like boar's head as opposed to Oscar Mayer or anything.
Maybe splurge for the Canadian baked ham, or instead of Canadian bacon instead of the bologna. But who knows?
Oh boy. All right, Ref Dave, what is your stat line?
Well, we hadn't settled on it, but I think it's going to be Tech 10 as a referee. I think Tech 10 makes the most sense. Strike 9, Agility 8, Power 7, Sub 6, Grapple 5.
Do you have the notes that we spoke about by any chance?
I do. I have them ready. I mean, there weren't a lot. I know we just talked about kind of a more niche gimmick and a stronger
finish package. Yeah. What was it? You could discard how many cards to stop a card with disqualification?
You said once per turn, you may discard one card to stop any card with disqualification in the text. That card is blank until end of turn. That's how we had left it.
I don't think it needs once per turn, right? Unless you're like in a tag match and they're double teaming you. I don't know. I feel like you may discard one card from your hand to stop any card with disqualification in the text. And then, this is nice tech against Deathmatch King. How does the madness spread work, right? That'll add disqualification to you could play it and then you could stop their next card, which is kind of cool, right? I think that kind of makes sense for this character.
I want a fun competitor. I don't need a super strong competitive competitor. I just want a fun one. That's what me and Super Show is all about, fun. So little weird, quirky things. I'm on board with that.
And I think considering that you have this like duality of the character, the yellow and the ref, like comboing with the madness spreads kind of seems thematic.
I don't know to use that. Does he have the right stat line to use that? Because I know those are stat line cards, right?
Yeah.
I think
one is definitely agility. One is definitely
agility, right? Yeah, the 19 is agility.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you go up against Deathmatch King, you're gonna be able to discard a card to stop like majority of the cards in his deck, if not all, which is kind of hilarious, right?
I think that's hilarious. That feels like a wrestling comedy match on display.
Yeah, I don't think for that matchup alone, you should have to do like make it more than one card. I don't, because like. At one card, you're shutting Deathmatch King down. He's probably not getting off the board unless he's throwing some follow-ups and stuff aggressively at you. At two cards, you might have a fair fight, right? But I don't know how useful discarding two cards to stop a card with disqualification in the text is overall. You get what I'm saying on that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. I'm here for the art and the fun and just promoting the game. And if I can do it with my ugly mug, I'm all for it. Princess Anika is also correct. We get hit hard. We go down really, really hard. So I acknowledge if there's a negative of breakout roll, that would thematically make sense.
I'm not sure I tracked that.
No, so you're just saying our breakout rolls. Like when someone hits us in a wrestling ring, we go flying. Go flying.
This is true. As somebody who has momentarily been in the ring, it is way worse than you can imagine as somebody who's not stepping. And I've had, mixed martial arts training, boxing training, where you learn to fall and break your falls to some degree. So it's not like when I was getting thrown around, I didn't have any experience with that. There's no preparation for it. Like people like wrestling is fake. And obviously we know that that's not true. We don't got to go there. But like taking a boot to the head where you just fall on the ground is so painful. Like, it's like, think about it. If you just tripped and fell on the ground right now, you would be like in pain. You're doing this like over and over for like 15 straight minutes. It is grueling to be in.
Well, that's what you do in practice too. You just get in there and pump and pump and pump and pump. So that
you make it better, right? But there's still no ideal way to fall on the ground, right? And then like this might sound funny, but you could probably speak to this too. An aggressive 3 count hurts like a bastard, dude. Like smacking the floor with all your might, like to make a count, that is really, really painful,
And then imagine doing it 7 matches, one
over and over again. Smashing the floor.
It's really hard. I actually hate falls count anywhere matches because I don't like bail out. Like a lot of refs bail out when they're not hitting the mat, like you're on concrete or something like
Yeah,
that.
like,
But
you're
the best that
slapping
ever
the
did it, in my
pavement.
opinion, is Mike Chioda. And if you watch him, he just went hard no matter what he was hitting. So as homage to him, I just take my Advil or Tylenol afterward and smack the mat. That's the way to go.
Yeah, it's painful. I mean, I used to play handball a lot when I was a kid. That was like, if I had to say the sport I was best at. And you like smack a rubber ball. It's not even like the concrete. When you're like smacking it as hard as you can, the like sting and the pain of the next day is kind of crazy. So imagine doing that, but you're doing it on a concrete floor. And I'd imagine some of the crappier venues too. A lot of you might not even have to be in a Falls Count Anywhere match to be taking those licks, so to say.
Yeah.
Unsung
definitely,
heroes.
I've had many bruises in weird places over the last year. We'll say that.
A good friend of mine, Mr. Zach Bruno, we've always called him the veteran referee here. Very passionate about referees and referees' rights and so on and so forth. And it's really tough because the referees are like an unsung hero of the show. You know, like, I'm not here to get wrestling political too much, right? But like, some places take care of your refs, some places don't. And I feel like they treat refs as like expendable, but it's like such an important part of the show. Not only is it like add to the storytelling aspect and the experience, but like it's about like the safety of the athletes. Like, there's so much stuff that the ref does besides just counting the 3 count and stuff. You know, it's like, and some,
You don't
some
realize
companies
how
don't
important
really.
it is. Just watch a couple matches with bad referees, and you'll find out real quick how important it is.
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. And it's like
I could show you a lot of indie clips, and you're gonna go, oh, and it just takes you out of it. It takes you out of it. But like you said, it's like offensive line on a football team. Nobody gives them credit, right? But they're the guts that make it happen. So that's the way we like it. The flip side of that too is I don't like the modern trend. A lot of refs are putting themselves over like talent and stuff, and we're not lead actors, we're supporting actors. You got to know your role. And I actually think if you're really good at it, you do a better job of not taking the spotlight and just putting the spotlight on the right thing. But that's for another day, a different soapbox.
Yeah, I feel that too. It's kind of like, you see a lot of like indie shows where once in a while it's cool to give that ref the spot where they hit like the rock bottom and the people's elbows and get those pops and stuff. But like, that's really like a special gimmicky thing. I agree. I feel like
good for comedy matches, but not other things.
Yeah, it's there to be.
Answer the chat too.
There to, like,
Falls Count Anywhere Falls Count Anywhere is way worse than 2 technical wrestlers who do the 2 counts right away. Those are kind of fun. It gets your breath going, but Falls Count Anywhere actually hurts.
So what is this move called?
This is the bell ringer.
Like that. And we're just going bonuses here.
And I told you it's your show. I don't know. Is Bob here? I thought I could default to you and Bob.
Oh man, get this guy out of here. Listen, this is a move again, kicking Reverend Good Brains in the chin. We got to make this the most powerful one you got here by far.
There you go. That's one way to get your finisher juiced.
Yeah, just put Bob on it. Okay, the more you beat up Bob, the better it goes. Mr.
And the
Bob,
story
welcome.
behind that, if for the people that don't know, my first ever Super Show tournament was a CAC in Indiana, and Bob flew
and
up.
he nearly won a CAC in his first effort.
Was that Joey Janela?
Finals.
Were you playing as Joey Janela?
I was, yes. Yep. So
Bob, if you're just joining us, the gimmick that we had cooked up prior to the episode was you may discard a card from your hand, stop any card with disqualification in the text. That card is blank text into the end of the turn.
All right, so we got to have really good finishes with that gimmick.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Oh, we talked about.
Yeah. That
each
is
gimmick,
the goal.
more fun finishes.
How about I have an idea. Talk about powerful finishes. The SRG PC, may it rest in peace. We picked a really good time to give them the reins. We got to get the player of the era.
How is down south in Florida right now?
It's quite nice today. 92 degrees and sunny.
Oh, wow, that's
It is warm. That's for sure.
It was like 50 here yesterday.
Help me then copy. +1. So I was gonna say, make it like the +2 power, +1 agility, +1 strike. Just super bomb.
Yeah, I mean 3 bonuses here makes sense on a weak gimmick protected finish.
Is this the right?
Is the agility the 8 or the 9?
I think it was the 8.
Okay.
And the strike was the 9.
Strike has to be 9 for that
Strike
3 count. We were just talking about it. Very good at smacking the mat.
Oh, and it's yeah.
So 3 10s and a 9. That's pretty good.
I would say, yeah, understatement. 666. All right, let's see some of the other effects. I think you should have an effect that's like really powerful if your opponent has a card with disqualification in play, and then maybe like another one. Oh no, that would be strange, right? Because that would entail.
Then do I
didn't
stop it or do I not? Right? Yeah.
I think it more should be if your opponent has a card of disqualification in their discard pile.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Because like as I was saying it too, it's like it's not like practice site where you could blank it and it goes into play, right?
Right.
You're full on stopping it.
How about this? Well, it may not be this finish, right? But when your opponent breaks out, if they have a card with disqualification or I would say weapon, but we don't have like a weapon keywords, right?
Yeah, and I don't
like
think
if you caught them with a weapon or trying to use a DQ card, then you get to add this back to your hand.
Yeah, I think some sort of like reward for them having a DQ card in the discard pile would be really awesome.
Yeah.
If your opponent has a card with disqualification in the text in play.
In discard.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of another, like it's just another effect. I'm just kind of like thinking of it out loud, where it's insanely strong unless they have a DQ card in play, which is like nearly impossible for them to get into play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be like a kind of like, here's what the finishing moves do. Like again, I'm just gonna jot something down. I don't know.
That would add fun to like book matches, right? Like it creates a counterplay, how you figure it out if you're going to go against the book match.
It's like a trap, right? Like it's like you're not going to get the card in play. You know,
right.
I mean, you might if you have one card in your hand, just drop kick. You're not going to kill the drop kick. Well, I don't know, but just hypothetically. But like if it was like +2, what's your grapple?
5, I think.
And then what's your 6?
That would be sub.
Like this is what I was thinking, like +2/+2, which is really a +4/+4. Your opponent does not have a card with disqualification in play. Just double these bonuses.
Yeah, you need an I between the F and the C in disqualification.
Disqualification. I don't know if that's too cheeky of an idea, but it's basically like a +4/+4, right?
Yeah,
I think it's good because
that's pretty good.
it tells you to use the gimmick, right? Like
Yeah, what was this called?
IPW driver.
One of your favorite promotions.
That's my home promotion. That's where I train, is Independence Pro Wrestling, and that guy taking it is my coach in the art. That's my coach, Josh Raymond. Shout out to him. And that that is kind of an homage to that, and that's pretty cool, man. That I could do that.
Yeah, I was having like a very nice moment of like reflection. So happens to me a lot after these like small cons, how fortunate I am to have Super Show, be around for so long and capture so much stuff that like people who just see the cool product at first, they don't get to see how much of the people involved is like painted into these cards, Like when I'm working with somebody new in the office and like a card gets ordered, a card will come up and like, for example, I just grabbed Marvelous Recruits, right? That was a card on my desk. And this is random. I didn't put that. It's like, oh, this card is really amazing. It's all the folks from the Rust Belt. And they're holding up the new baby for the Heinz that was just born, And like we have so much of the history and the stories behind these cards, whether they're like super serious, or like memorial or funny, like you have Pat Mulligan choking on chicken wings, and he's eating with Bob Dunn eating the spicy wings, or just like a little nod to like your trainer here. There's so much stuff in Super Show that I feel like when I'm gone, or even if the game doesn't continue, I do feel the game will have a long lasting feel, kind of like Magic and Pokemon. But I feel like no matter what, you'll always be able to look back and see like all these little Easter eggs from real people and real stories rather than like characters we created. That's my little rant for right now. And it's really awesome. I do appreciate it. Obviously financially
IPW.
Getting IPW, getting like the financial support help for commission cards is wonderful. Obviously like that's so crucial to the game being around. But like on top of that, not only do we have something that like financially supports us, but be able to like paint the picture and tell a story over time. I feel like it's really the coolest part. IPW driver, that's it.
That's it.
Okay, and then the last one, Bob, what were you saying was like if they do have DQ stuff in the discard pile?
Yep.
What are we looking at?
So I was thinking if your opponent has so you can either do it as if stopped, or you can do it as if the opponent breaks out and they have a card with disqualification in the name in the discard pile, add it back to your hand.
So kind of like the tearing up the ones and twos.
Yeah.
Who's that getting that? Is that Schmidt?
No, that's the influencer. That was my first.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It did kind of look like Schmidt. Yeah, the crown. I was like, when did Schmidt wear a crown?
Yeah, that guy's a jerk.
Never.
Not Schmidt. I'm talking about the influencer.
You were talking about Schmidt. It's okay. What's the name of this one?
This one is Candy Shop Lock.
Oh, so if you want your card to be really good, beat up Robert the Great Dunn. If you want it to be really bad, you could reference Candy Shop Talk on that.
I mean, I'm a host. I think it's one word too, Candy Shop.
Is it?
I believe it is.
So one of the funny parts of Super Show, and this was really great, I met some great people in St. Charles. I keep going to say St. Louis, but technically it was not St. Louis. They had this game called Pocket Parks, right? And basically this couple made like a rummy style, like Rummy Cube game featuring all the state and national parks in the US. And they went to like all 53 of them. And they took actual photos and they made a game. And I think they're going to be really successful because it's simple, it's cool. I feel like it's something that you can see like not only in game stores, but in like merchandise stores from museums and all the parks. Long story short, They have their game called Pocket Parks, one word, right? And their logo is like Super Show, where Super Show is one word, but our logo also breaks it down into two. And I'm like, I don't know how far you guys are along, but I will tell you, it is definitely a mistake for you to advertise your brand as one word and your logo to be split in two. Take my advice. I can't tell you how many times people put it separately, or like don't search it. So it was just kind of funny that in real time, I watched someone do the same sort of mistake that we've made, where they put like pocket and then parks underneath it, but the technical name is Pocket Parks, like one word. So Candy Shop Talk is screwing that up too. All right, so if your opponent breaks out, I'm
going to default to Bob.
If your opponent breaks out,
yep,
and they have a card with disqualification in the text in their discard pile. Add this card to your hand.
Okay.
Unlikely that this will happen very often.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, on a power level, I don't know if it's that good, but the first two finishers are absolute bombs. So we can work with that. This is currently sitting at 8, 10, 13 in bonuses. I think this should have some sort of effect on it for the bell ringer. Okay. So right now we're sitting at like a. Is this a finisher that you would enjoy playing, Ref? I know that there are some characters you really like. You can kind of try to tie that in there too, on any of them.
I'm going to be honest. I like all characters. The only thing I don't love is hand destruction. So yeah, this looks a lot of fun. So
cool.
I'm on board with
put on the strike.
Finishes.
Put on the strike if your opponent has more cards in their hand than you draw two. That way, if you're behind, you still get draw off of it, even if it doesn't end the game.
I mean, would it be too wild to just say draw two?
I mean, no. Certainly simpler. And with this deck, Dave, you're gonna have to make sure you have plenty of recursion. But I mean, if you hit them, these finishes will end the game.
Yeah, probably plenty of recursion is probably the style I play the most anyway. So it also fits my play style. So even better.
I mean, we could. This one doesn't need as much recursion if they have it.
Just a lot of people don't play with DQs, right?
No, like, that's what I'm trying to say is like right now we're at 5, 8, 13, 17 in bonuses, which is like pretty generous, right?
I got no complaints, man. I'm just here for the ride.
I wonder if you could do. No, don't die on me.
You probably need a space between breaks and out on that second line.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Appreciate that. I'm thinking. What if the IPW driver picked up a finisher from the discard pile? Does that seem like unwarranted? That's 2 targets.
Yeah, pick up a finisher would be good.
Oh my god, I think I have an idea. It might be a terrible one. What would be the implications if it said if like either a spotlight or the gimmick was like this match has disqualifications.
Well, I was gonna suggest you could put a spotlight that just says your opponent's finish card has have disqualification in the text.
That would be way
seems
too good.
That'd be really
like
good.
way
Yeah.
too good.
Yeah,
like
like-
you just have so many things. I don't
Like,
even
if
want
you could-
that. That would be 2020 in a moment.
Well, question on this, okay? You may discard one card from your hand. That card, you may. What about you may blank the text until the end of the turn? Does that make more sense? So, like, if somebody's trying to DQ you in a title match, should it be a may? Should you have the option to not blank it? You know, or does that not make any sense?
Why would you ever want their team to stay? Like what? You're saying you win via DQ?
You win by DQ.
They go to hit you with a chair
Yeah,
shot,
yeah.
and you're like, I'm going to discard this card, and now I win the game. Right? Like,
You may discard it to stop. But I mean, you could let it hit anyway, right? Like even without the may. I don't know.
If it
I guess you
hits
could
and-
just stop it, right? Without your gimmick,
Right.
if you wanted to.
Right. You could just stop. I actually don't necessarily think that's necessary. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Necessary.
Yeah. Nurse.
Is it necessary? I drink my own urine.
The submission has another spelling issue too, Steve. Before we
Okay.
finish.
If your opponent breaks out and they have a card with disqualification in the text,
FIC disqualification. FIC.
disqualification. Damn you, disqualification.
You
Okay.
need the L after the I as well. Or I after the L as well. Sorry.
Oh, there is one.
Disqualification.
Double eyes.
I'll add this card to your hand. This one is fine. It's not that powerful.
Yeah, it's good. This is the F Matt Cardona deck, which is the way it
Big
should
time, right?
be.
Big
Cardona
time.
would never be okay with the ref anyway.
I love
No.
that. Yeah. Cardona is no friend to the referees of the world.
Certainly not.
That is that is very, very true. I've been loving his run on the Indies. And it's like so formulaic of old school wrestling too, Dave, right? Like he's not doing too much. He's just getting tons of heat from the crowd. He's found like 100 different ways to make the closing ref bump spot like work, whether like cost him the match or wins him the match. He's doing so much where like he knocks his own manager out on accident, or the manager knocks somebody else out and the ref gets bumped in his favor or against. I feel like they've mixed like every single combination of those dusty kind of finishers. And he seems to just keep making it work.
I actually really like Cardona, and I agree with all of that. I would point to I complained to someone about it, but the last John Cena 3 ref bumps in one match, which I was not a fan of. That is not the way to do it. That is a modern take that isn't as good as the old standbys. So I like when wrestlers go old school and pull some stuff out for the long time things.
Yeah, I think several bumps in one match starts getting a little crazy.
2 should be your maximum, generally.
IPW or IWP?
IPW, yes. Independence Pro Wrestling. Man, they're getting plugged all over the place.
Let's do it. Okay.
All that free pub.
So for my show, that's coming out in a month. So that'll be good. I'm going with
Candy Shop
Upheaval.
Lock.
What do you guys think about that? IPW Upheaval as the name. It's like your Raw,
I do like that,
SmackDown
yeah.
Upheaval. You like that?
Nice.
Someone said
yeah.
Blitzed, which I like too. That fits me. I don't know if it fits the promotion.
You said Blitz?
Blitzed. IPW Blitzed. I think that was, I can't remember who said Larry. I think Larry suggested that, which is a good name too.
Yeah. Instead of like Raw, SmackDown, I like Blitz in general, but I do like Balls. They're fun. All right. Candy Shop Lock. Wondering if this has enough juice. I don't know if it needs to be.
I mean, it's going to be the
Much
third
better.
option in the deck, right? Like it's not almost always you're not going to play it as the go-to.
Yeah, so you're fine with it? You think it's fine?
Yeah, again, you guys know this game better than I do. I said we're just
I'm
playing
trying
your
to think how,
playground, Steve.
I think the other finishers are very good, right? 3 10s and draw cards you can't complain about. +4, +4. I'm looking at this guy kind of like a Rock Newman type character, where he just needs bombs finishers, because if you're not up against like Deathmatch King or Gideon Guts, who like no one uses, you're gonna maybe get like 1 or 2 cards that you could hit with your gimmick, which makes me believe that this needs to be stronger still.
I'm not going to argue with that. That makes sense. Most of the time, your gimmick is going to do absolutely nothing.
So I'm thinking this should have like the ability to like always come back if they have a card with disqualification in their discard pile, right? Because like think about it, if I'm running just a few disqualification cards, I could just pass and bury and get them out of there, right? Like they have to be in the discard pile. So I think this should be like much harder hitting. But I'm not sure if we start like making this broken. I mean, are you open to a spotlight or you don't like this?
I'm open to anything, man. I'll make the cards work.
Would you rather it be a spotlight or if stop?
I think if stop is probably better than a spotlight. Because it's recursion, right? So if they stop it, it comes back and becomes more of a pain in the butt.
If stopped, comma, and your opponent
Thank you, Princess Anika. That's right.
has a card with disqualification in the text in their discard pile, add this card to your hand. I think that's way more savage than what we pitched. All right, and now if your opponent breaks out, it just comes back to hand. Because like when you watch Candy Shop talk, it's like getting herpes. You're stuck with this thing for life. So I think that this is probably pretty fitting, especially by the fitting. So Bob, I mean, do you like this?
I want to give you one quick counterpoint on that. So I feel like I am a huge proponent of this game. I'm starting locals. I go to conventions. I advertise it at shows. And if Candy Shop Talk did not exist, there is no way I would be as involved as I am. So this directly benefits you that show and that exists.
If I'll break the kayfabe for a second, because we're having fun. I know people, some can't see through it, but I really love what they do with Candy Shop Talk. I feel like any content is wonderful. You know, having an alternative where you could say and do the things that I try to keep off our subject matter is great. You know, I really am supportive of any sort of outlet. Just know what you're getting into when you get into it. You know, I think there are some things that are said on Candy Shop Talk that have that like Howard Stern vibe where it's like maybe that was better left, left unsaid. But again, not only are people
why they needed a referee to keep that in check, Steve. That's why I'm there.
Yeah, where were you when Mark Perry was talking? My God, I should have tied that guy up. Oh, that was Misfit TV or whatever. But yeah, like again, as long as you kind of like know what you're getting into, it's really great. For me, as cliche as it sounds, like it's a dream come true to see people putting out content that's inspired by what we did. You know, from day one, I loved when people made fantasy cards and stipulations and stuff. And now like the things have evolved from where I've always wanted it to be, for it's not only just I'm going to make up cards to play in your game. I'm going to make up characters, and now I'm going to make up shows that we're doing weekly. You know, I mean, to me, it's amazing. And as much as I talk crap about them, that's all in fun of like a rivalry. You know, I love those guys. I've gotten on the show with them and, been in hotel rooms late night and we're talking about silly things. And you get to see, I think, a side of me that a lot of people see on the regular. So I do. I really do enjoy.
We need you back on the show, not dying of a fever. that last time you were dying of a fever.
Dude, that was incredible. I mean, we beat one of the best tag teams ever, which is kind of crazy to begin with. But there was like a portion of that match that I have no recollection of, like whatsoever. You know, like thinking about it, like normally it's like I play a game and it's a high stake match, and I'll get on the phone the next day when I have free time and I'll like recap everything. The only thing I can specifically remember from that match was asking Griff to like stop a finish, which again, it's not even like making sense to me in my head because I feel like he would do it anyway because my entrance card was still live. And I was like, I would really hate to lose before my entrance fired off, you know? That's like the only thing from the match that really stands out. I can't tell you God's honest truth what finisher got the win. I think it was the Savage back claw, but I'm really not positive. It's just like the whole night was a blur to me. It was an absolute blur. And I remember like peeling my sweatshirt off when I got off of that. As gross as that sounds. All right, Ref Dave. Candy Shop Block. This is like way better, right? This is like
good.
There's no way this should be a card effect good, but I think it's just really limited. Limited. I don't think that like disqualification cards are running absolutely rampant right now.
We'll wait till you make some really strong ones, and then he'll be a monster.
Yeah, and that's good. Let it be patient. As I mentioned before, now that I got Dave and Bob, I don't know if you guys were here for the card effect that I was thinking of. For me, it really feels like an Ikazo card. I don't know why, especially if you call it like Wall Breaker or something. But I think the effect could be something along the lines of like, look at your opponent's hand, and then 7 kind of makes a nice ring for me, I think. If they have 7 stops in their hand, they like randomly discard a bunch. I don't know if 3 is enough. I almost feel like 4 should be where it's at. Because like you can't use it unless it does nothing unless your opponent has at least 7 cards in their hand.
I get to see their hand, but it's look at your opponent's hand. If they or do they have to have the stuff? Like, what is the actual wording?
So I was thinking, like, look at your opponent's hand. If they have 7 or more stops in their hand, my first impression is they randomly discard 4. I don't know if that's like too killer, right? Or maybe it's like they randomly discard 3 of those stops. So it's like a Tiger Driver that won't miss, you know? But something like
the skill card, obviously, right?
Is it? That's the question, right? Is it a skill card?
I mean, all of like your 7/18s and everything that discards things usually is a skill card.
True. Tiger Driver is not, right? Would you rather just have Tiger Driver where no matter how many cards they have in their hand? Because like I've opened the turn 1 Tiger Driver where my opponent has 3 stops and they're pretty boned. Like this, I would just look at their hand and see 3 stops and be like, oh, okay. Those are there now.
This is 22 through 24.
That's what I would imagine,
instead of something.
Right?
So
I'd say 22, yeah.
Because I think if you want to make it not a skill card, then you have it replace one of the stops, and then maybe you're okay. Like you have it replace the C1 stop one, so you're losing something by having that.
Yeah, that would definitely be some merit to it too, right?
I mean, if you really, really wanted it to be good, you would just make it press slam, but for stops.
Oh, that'd be way too good, right? Like I feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't think there's any scenario where you don't run that card. I mean, maybe if it's a card number 25, people like it's not worth it. But I don't even see that being not worth it.
The other way is you could make it they don't randomly lose the stops, and then you could have it not be a skill card because that's a whole lot less strong. Like they just lose 4 stops, but they choose.
That's true, right? I mean, what's the best case scenario for them? They go punch, lock up, headlock, kick, you know?
I'm just saying, but then the card's a whole lot less strong. So that's a way to like make it a little weaker, but then you don't have to put the skill requirement on
it. See, like what would make it interesting is the chess match at the end of the game. Like if you know your opponent has that, you're probably hanging on to your stop any's, right? Which there are 9 possible, right? Assuming all of them are alive. Right. So like now, assuming they're all live, your opponent could always catch you with that. But like if they're not all live, then you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna get rid of my hip toss against my opponent, you know? Or like the one that doesn't stop that one, obviously, like if they're playing the submission version. I don't know
because it's stronger. mid game, like when they're to the point where their hands full and they're just discarding, but they're not decked out yet. Like that's I think when you want to try to hit that, not like at the very end game because you're already planning for it, right?
Yeah, you're right. Right, like mid game where they're at max hand size, right?
Yeah, that's when that becomes its most powerful.
Yeah, but that's where I feel like you got to make that decision where like, do I keep punch or do I keep, mounted turnbuckle punches in my hands? So I feel like it adds like a nice level of like, I'm always a fan of incentivizing more aggressive play. Like I know we have a lot of cards. Like Tiger Driver, I was on the fence about, but like if you're running press slam over neck breaker, you don't feel as bad as a Tiger Driver at some point. So it's interesting. I would like to see an effect like that. But we'll work on the balancing with that. Maybe we'll do it right now. Other stuff. All right, I have to get through some of the origins things. Some stuff to show off. Oh, Michael Mosley. Let's do this finisher here.
Ooh, new Mosley finisher? Please tell me it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's even better.
It's
I'm fine with this.
Yeah, we came up with a really good name for this one. Can anybody guess it? I think it's pretty obvious.
Knock the sack?
No, close. Keep going while I'm looking these up.
Low.
Something I don't know the guy.
It does have sack in the name.
Sack tap?
No.
Sack attack?
No, but I think we're getting kind of closer than that.
Big sack tap?
This is a submission, I think he said.
Well, I replaced the submission. Submissions.
Why? What's the best
three
one?
Three to his 9. 1 to his. 3 to his 9. 3 to his 6. I think it's good.
What's the other ones?
The other one, the strike is 3 to strike. Your opponent randomly buries a card. Your opponent's gimmick is blanked. And the grapple is where are we? Now 3 to agility, so 3 to 5, 2 to 8. Shuffle 2 cards from discard pile into your deck.
I mean, I'm just going by what they paid for.
Okay, if that's what they paid for, then that's what they paid for.
Ooh. So what they wanted was a finisher that allowed them to reveal multiple competitors. So there were some
multiverse of sack.
Nope.
Focus saying sack to back.
Nope.
There is a one saying, call it American Firecracker and we will buy it. Okay.
A card where you see a hand and discard all the steps.
Make it do that, right? So where did it go? All right, so it was called Go Where You Belong. All right, so we wanted a very specific language. So I want it to be playable by all the Mosleys, not only if you have the super rare one. The name is Sack of All Trades, by the way.
Sack of All Trades. That's good.
Okay, I like it.
A good name.
I got Mosley in front of me right now, so if you wanna, I have his stats and everything.
Okay, so
any New Dragon Con promo.
How is the Well, yeah, I mean, hopefully, if I could, I would like to do a set of some kind. You know.
What do you need? At the start of the match, reveal any number of Mikkel Mosley competitor cards. Choose one and add its gimmick to yours. Competitor cards.
Yeah, that's probably important because you could probably do a finisher, right?
Yeah.
It didn't say competitor. This would be really funny with Jeff Bravo, right?
If people still use them. Yeah.
I think that was a pretty strange hard ban, but you know, I'm kind of for it.
A strange band. You want Jeff Bravo to have that new Casey finish you just revealed, among other things? I mean, there's just too many good finishes now.
I mean, I'll never ever be convinced that having two good finishers and no gimmick is stronger than having that finisher and the gimmick. It just doesn't do it for me ever. That'll just be like my take. Like I'd rather just beat Casey Ryan than beat him. But like it is just way too much to keep track of. Like if he did get the errata that I had put up where it's like choose any non-stop finishers, I don't even think he's like good. Personally.
Breaking news. Boss is not playing Ref Dave competitor.
Huh.
Yeah, well, that's why I wanted to juice up your submission finisher, right? Because it's like,
but it's
yeah, like I'm trying. I mean, listen, I play those characters. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Ref Dave is a character I would play, and I'll tell you exactly why. I love playing a character with like a passive gimmick with a training with card. Like if you look at the decks that I have Homicide, like gimmick doesn't do nothing. I double up with that. I have Ariel and Scrappers. I have Everyone's Enemy. I have the Stone. I have Papa Wheelie. You know, like if my gimmick doesn't give me like effects during the match, I love using the entrance to give me something because I feel like I have an effect throughout the match and then it works. I mean, Scrappers has the finish protection. But like in the other cases, it's just like I will definitely build Ref Dave with a training with card.
Can you pull the Ref Dave finishes back up real quick? I'm sorry, I was just thinking about something. I want to make sure that we did this correctly.
Kirk, we are not freeing Bravo. Nope.
If we free Bravo, he's gonna get the no stop card text because I think that's the hardest part. Like stop finishers are hard enough when you like know they're there. It's hard to keep track of like knowing one character does.
You mean our tag team champions that will never lose?
Yeah, right. Like it's I'm gonna beat the hell out of them. Are you kidding me? We're gonna destroy them. It's not even
okay.
pretty. I hope
I got a title shot coming up against them. Well, I'll do my best to take.
What's so hard about like one of them stops submissions and one of them stops grapples? Just beating them up with submissions doesn't seem that difficult. It seems like all right. We just.
I mean, in theory, but in practice, with the belts make it a lot harder.
Oh, of course. I mean, listen. Everybody said the tag team title belts were too weak, and now we have these really powerful ones.
Well, those belts used to suck, and now they're the best in the game. So,
yeah, I mean, I would rather them stink personally, but they were. I mean, they each started with 5 cards. It's kind of crappy, but it wasn't the worst.
Now they get an extra card on every tag. I wanted to see his finishes again. I wanted to check something.
Are you checking the Madness cards?
No, I'm checking. No, I'm checking for something else.
Free Jeff Bravo. Free Jeff Bravo. I don't know if he's a nice guy or either.
Doesn't everybody eventually end up Dirty Eddie?
Yeah, right. You either You either die a hero or live long enough to be a dirty Eddie.
That's right.
All right.
Yep. Okay. Do they all have disqualification in the text? That's what I was trying to remember.
Yeah. So you
Okay.
get that like.
I don't think the strike one does.
No. So what you could use the ringside hookup to go get them.
Yeah.
I was thinking puncher's chance, among other things, right?
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
So put DQ in this one too.
I don't know if he needs that. Damn. He still gets to pick up 2 finishers. That'd be pretty good.
I guess the risk is then people will just well, they'll already be able to use the 13 through 15s to stop DQ cards.
No, because those are via disqualification.
Oh, via disqualification. So, yeah.
So I don't have to. That's pretty cool tech.
Kirk says let. Oh,
did these fines get paid, or am I getting fleeced here, man? I got tariffs to pay.
Kirk says let him reskin Jeff Bravo.
What? Let him reskin Jeff Bravo as no stops, no spotlights?
Oh. I'll wait for him to answer.
I mean, I just don't know if he deserves. Like, I feel like the connotation of reskinning people is that they have upset the community in some way. I feel that I would have to think on it. I don't know if it really makes too much sense to do that. You know, I don't know if Jeff is a bad dude in any capacity, right? But it's not off the table. I'll think on it.
All right.
You know, he is an indie wrestler, right? I don't kind of want to do him dirty. Is he still around? Yeah.
With that strike finish that we talked about, what if we change the draw 2 to something with the DQ, just because that's thematically cool that they all have it and that could run with that line? Like, what if we make the draw 2 less but have DQ in it?
I mean, if you insist, I don't know if it's. I mean, realistically, like, I don't know if it's too much of a perk or not, but I really don't know. They're just bomb,
I don't know either.
Finishers. Yeah.
I just like the theme of it. Like, they all have DQ in it. It's cool. It's a cool theme because it goes with the ref theme.
No, he's saying, let me redo Grim. He's a bad dude.
We're never bringing back Grim.
No, you can't at this point. I remember I went to a tournament where we let Grim be legal, and it was so funny because like the player just did not care. It was like Big Shot, Mysterious, Rising Sun, you know, like he just picked a random character each round, which was kind of the intention of it, right? Disqualification. All right.
With this, yeah.
How's that? Probably won't ever draw any, but serves as purpose.
Yeah, that's fine. I think the keyword fun is more than the draw, right? The draw was an add-on.
You need the I again between the F and the C.
Why can't I spell this word, man?
It's a very difficult word. A lot of vowels.
Disqualification. All right. Okay. How are we doing on time, Schmidt?
1:46. You got 14 minutes, and then that's the show.
Reveal any number of Michael Mosley competitor cards. This is annoying.
It's you want a copy of the gimmick, basically, right? Reveal any number.
The reason why I'm hoping not to be opening up a can of worms here is I don't want this to be unplayable if you don't have the costume changer. So like the idea is if you only own Michael Mosley technique version, I mean, if you own all of them but not the costume changer, you could play this one and still add multiple together. So like you have to reveal them first.
Yeah.
If you were only playing this one with the costume changer, it would just say choose one revealed Michael Mosley competitor and add their gimmick to yours, right? Now there is a school of thought where I could like delete the whole first line of text and reprint the costume changer, which I think a lot of people would be in favor of.
Oh yeah.
And the only way to get this is to get the costume changer card.
But what if, so for example, me, who has the costume changer and has all 6.
Yeah.
Like, would I?
Well, this is going to come with a competitor anyway, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, like, I mean, you have all 6, you know. I don't know what you want me to tell you with that, right?
So
buy it and give it away. So
Polverino is in the chat. He's saying, do we have to put that you cannot choose a gimmick that's already been added, or can we double up?
This has come up a lot. I think him and I have spoken with this. I feel that whether it's not documented anywhere, so I mean, I know this is a rule book purist, but a flat rule that should eventually be documented somewhere is all competitor cards are unique unless otherwise stated. So you can't reveal the same competitor twice in any capacity if somebody was allowed to do that. I think that would just be like a blanket rule that makes sense. You know, if you're playing a card like this, it's just implied that you can't do the same twice.
So I can double up on the strike gimmick, basically. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Polverino, what was the bonuses that you pitched on this?
One to the set, 1 to strike, 3 to sub. So giving him 2 8s and 2 9s. 1 strike, 3 to sub. Ooh. Interesting.
That'd be too good. I mean, so if you hit it at crowd meter 0, you get 1. Then if you hit it again at crowd meter 1, you get 2 more. So you'd have 3 gimmicks together. None of the gimmicks are really that powerful.
So they're not really like that powerful. Like the tech version is really niche. The grapple version is only during turn roll. The other ones are turn roll 2 are turn roll based, and the other one is opponent rolls agility. They flip 1, you draw 1. And then the power version is when they roll power for the turn roll, they discard a card from their hand. So nothing like too like overpowered, but there will probably be like a combination of something that will, if you get it to where it's like, oh, I have 3 gimmicks revealed. It's really good.
I mean, what is it? It's like, if you hit this and have 3 gimmicks revealed, you're gonna like roll power, make them discard a card. Your next turn roll is +1. If you roll strike, and then like when you roll agility, they like flip 1. So, is there anything in it?
So Polverino is just saying he pitched it as add 2 gimmicks so this makes more balance. Instead of 2 each time, you start with 1, then go to 2, then go to 3. So you hit it 3 times, you get the same 4 gimmicks.
Okay, so he's saying when you hit it, choose 2 gimmicks and add it to yours.
Pitch it as add 2 gimmicks so this makes it balanced. Waiting for him to see. Respond yes or no. Thanos Mosley, when you have 6 gimmicks revealed, your opponent cannot break out. Redo the snap.
That is a limit. +1 to strike, +3 to submission, you said?
Yeah. +1 to strike, +3 to sub. Yes, but the crown meter one is more balanced, he's saying. So.
Jeff. You will raise.
I mean, the grapple one only hits certain people, right? Like, you're never going to use the grapple.
When I was testing with him,
it only hits people who trigger with grapple.
Yeah, I have not used the grapple version yet.
I mean, you'll use the grapple if you go up against Witch Hunter Jim.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
like,
obviously.
But
everything else, my choices usually are based on their 10 or their lower skill, or their 9. So if they're agility 9, they got a low agility or a higher agility than mine, I'll use, the Doctor Strange is this Doctor Strange? I forget which one this was. No, it's not Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I want you to just think about what you're saying before you're saying it. She's confusing the hell out of me.
I've used the strike one more than anything else. I haven't used the technique version yet. A lot.
What does the strike one do?
When your opponent rolls strike, for their turn roll, your next turn roll is +1.
Reveal any number of competitor cards. Choose one. Michael Mosley with a card. I think this is fine. I think it's a good perk. Nothing here is like jumping out to me being too crazy. Bob, any objections? Chat, any objections?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's you got to build to it over time. So yeah.
I even feel like if he had all 6 out, right, it would be when your opponent rolls agility, they flip 1 and draw 1. When your opponent rolls strike, you get +1 to a roll. When your opponent rolls power, they discard a card. You have all these effects, but like none of them are like too insane, right? Or am I totally wrong? Is the idea that you'd have 2 gimmicks, 2 triggers in general just enough?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, in long form matches, this could get really crazy, but okay, those are long form matches and they're already crazy.
Like if you hit this back to back, you're gonna have. See, this is where the jump is weird to me, right? Like if I hit this finisher, I have 2 gimmicks. Now you break out. Now if I hit it again, I'm gonna go to 4 gimmicks, right? 3 kind of feels like enough, but
right. Yeah. This character will be very playable in Grand Battle.
Kirk saying the only objection is Mosley's impossible to get.
Well, we would fix that for Dragon Con.
I have a set with the power. My strike copy went to a friend of mine. Oh, I had an extra strike version.
Yeah, I don't know if you make Michael Mosley costume change available with this card. If that would like make more people happy.
I don't know that you need to. And the whole benefit of this card is that you could have any number of Mosleys.
Yeah. And please and thank. I got you. Please relax.
Yeah, you're right. Like you don't obviously having the costume change one is great because it lets you pick who you want to start with.
Yeah, put this out with the ones that are super hard to get, which I think was
the technique. The technique and the grapple version were the 2 hardest ones to get because they were splash.
Yeah.
Things. So the It and the Book, which those were the 2 hardest ones to grab. I got lucky and I found them at Pixel Palace the year I won the world title. It was there. They were $20 for both of them. I grabbed it immediately. Look. When does the costume change competitor come out? It was out already, Kirk.
No, the SRG boss costume change competitor.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misread that.
The one that we all know Steve will make eventually.
I think it's coming out soon. I think I'm going to make it a prize card though.
All right. Well, I gotta run and go back to work.
I think we're gonna wrap. Bob, good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you, brother.
Good to talk to you, everybody.
When's the next time I see you? Am I waiting until July?
In person?
Yeah. No, because Origins is first.
I'm going to be at Origins, yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Doing 3. I'm doing the double.
The do play for Robert the Brain Dunn. Goat, give me my title match. I actually haven't seen if General Manager John Calais has signed off on our title belt allocation.
Look, I got to defend both titles this weekend, but if I do, I have every intention of defending both titles at both conventions. So you heard me here, general managers. I intend to defend both titles at both conventions on that weekend.
I shot for the moon. I did you guys on Expanding Universe. I said, Calais, I want all the title belt allocations. Give us them all. Double. I want Tornado and Global.
I know I'm not seeing Cardona in Underworld, so it's all right.
Oh, on a random note,
yeah,
I had said that the Triad matches needed to be completed before Virtual Grand Gathering, and one of the components who have qualified is not able to make it. The show must go on, people. Okay? I'm gonna make a judgment call depending on availability. As the GM, I might just appoint 2 new challengers for that match. You know, I depending on general manager's allocations, I would love to see a triad match between the GOAT Brock Smith and 2 members of the Crime Wave who did not get allocated a second title shot. I think that'd be super fitting.
Cool.
Maybe I also have the idea of maybe just making Press 1P go one-on-one with the other member of that match that is available, and the winner goes into a triad match alongside another person of my choosing. You know, the Hidden Threat has got himself a match, so maybe we stick him right in that match. But he's unfortunately at Death Metal Fest, which, to his surprise, the whole rest of the world is not at. So we will see how that shakes out. There'll be some breaking news. For the Boss Roddy Beatdown, which is tonight, I can't believe that. I actually have a very, very cool prize. Something that I didn't think I had any more of. I have a painted membership ring. So I have one on the side for me. I have one that I will stash away for life, and one that will be up for grabs tonight in a challenge to the winner of this event, who'll be able to play for one of these finished events. All right, so I will. Maybe I'll be a little bit more lenient. I won't hard counter you. I'll just play a deck that I already have, depending on how much I like you.
Bob left, but Bob, I wanted to say thank you for all your generosity and thanks for being here. Sorry, Bob, I missed you.
Bye, man. Well, I appreciate that very much, Dave. The second thing was I was so close to booking the previous Boss Friday Beatdown members. I did not. Chris Pate, you are allowed to play Theo this week. I didn't make any announcement of it, so I cannot.
I thought it was 90. Oh, he is not in the 96.
He's not, but I think what would be kind of cool is like a Boss Friday Beatdown Hall of Fame. I don't know how needed that is.
You'd put me in that because I won one. So, you know.
Well, what did you use?
I used Snake Pit.
You won one this year?
No, one of the first ones I won.
Yeah.
I beat Pete.
Anyway,
I beat Pete in the finals.
There is a lot of stuff that is going to be done. As I mentioned, updates yesterday. We're working on our Kickstarter campaign. We don't have a launch date for the Cardona stuff. It is looking pretty amazing. It is not going to be anything too insane for you guys. It's going to be a 2-player box set. It's going to have just a few new cards in there and also the new line, but you're going to get a new Cardona and a new Brian Myers. We're hoping that that'll be, really big for our audience. It'll have the opportunity to get a internet championship card, which is going to be a really cool entrance card. We'll also be introducing the death match crowd meter with that. So again, very light Kickstarter, basically a box set, a stipulation, and some stretch goals that will unlock. There will be created content. We are working with Matt, these guys too, so it'll be about what you see on the website. Also just keep in mind that you're getting all the products that come with it, as well as we're paying Kickstarter fees, we're paying royalty fees on it. So it's not going to be as discounted as other ones are, but the really cool twist is for the first time ever, your created content can be up against Matt Cardona and Brian Myers and those guys. So if you make a character, you could actually do your finishing moves on Matt Cardona. If you create a card, you could do a card up against Matt Cardona, or you could make Matt Cardona do a move against somebody else. This is something that we've never, ever been able to offer before because there's a lot of legal complications for using people's likenesses and payments, and this has all been kind of hammered away. So really small box set, small release, just a couple of new cards, 2 brand new characters. You'll have opportunities to get some things autographed, like we've never offered an autographed Deathmatch King before. You'll be able to get Deathmatch Kings autographed. You could have gone out of your way to get it, but this is where you get it right here and there. A second thing that is pretty exciting, we are trying to work out all the details in real time. Super Lucha, which was very successful on Kickstarter, there is a website called GameFound, which allows you to extend your Kickstarter campaign for late backers. So we're working on, because our product is already ordered and en route, a GameFound campaign that'd be very brief that would allow people to order Super Lucha and get it relatively quickly. I mean, we are on track for the July delivery, so we could advertise a May, June, July, August, I'd say, shipping, because obviously we want to do the Kickstarter first shipped out, and then anybody who back through GameFound will be able to order that stuff. Now, the GameFound stuff is going to be much more limited. I don't know what to expect, whether we'll have 10 backers or 200 backers. Obviously, the latter would be a dream come true. But because this is being added to a run that we've paid for in advance and already have the process, we can only pre-sell equal to what we've already ordered for us to deliver. So it will have a cap on how many people could order this, obviously, because we've only paid for, say, 1,000 units. So combined, we can't get rid of 1,000 games, whatever the case is. So we have some really exciting stuff. Super Lucha will be back on GameFound for people who missed out. We'll eventually announce the Cardona box set as an official date, and we're gearing up for Origins, which again, I couldn't be really more excited for it, because we're going to keep it very centered on our organized play and the experience. We'll have a couple new competitors being released, nothing too extreme. It would be very hard for us to have a major release right on the heels of the Virtual Grand Gathering. Virtual Grand Gathering, be on the lookout for some very good deals. Okay, there are going to be new releases, there are going to be discounts. It is going to be an opportunity for you to get some cool stuff at a discount. There is the barbed wire cards, which will play a significant role in the deathmatch crowd meter. And you better believe that once I print that deathmatch crowd meter and give Matt Cardona a very large sum of money, I'm going to use that sumbitch quite often in my events. Okay, I'm gonna get every dollar of it. So the barbed wire cards and the baseball bat cards and the soon-to-be tack cards will all be as a part of that. We also are going to be working with Val again on starting to commission the ladder deck, and we will also be making Grand Pack characters in a limited quantity again available through Vgg. So there will be a lot of creative content options, a lot of discount options throughout the Virtual Grand Gathering that you can look out for. You have a lot of different choices depending on your artist preference and so on and so forth. So that is all going to be up and running over this weekend. It's also my birthday weekend, so I very much look forward to that. Tonight should be a blast. Whether or not I participate in the event, I am not sure. Paul said he's more than willing to host. I would love to play. I understand if I'm not, but I will see you tonight for the Boss Friday Beatdown. Bye, man. Thank you, Ref Dave. Thank you.